cabinet door up here seems to open on its own. Drawers, and you see right there, one of the drawers popped open on its own and seems to be sliding out. And then this red door slams shut. The first clip comes to us from the Nukes Top 5 subreddit from Bester_Inc. And it is titled Poltergeist Activity Caught on Video During the Day. Let's take a look. You see someone's kitchen, and you're going to see some alleged poltergeist activity occur. You see first, this cabinet door up here seems to open on its own. That's the first thing that happens. And then this cabinet door seems to open on its own. And at the same time, a knife falls off the cabinet. And then that box moved on its own. So then the owner claims they heard the noises and they came running in to react. And then their camera moved as they walked by, kind of freaking out a little bit. And then they walk off frame. Here's what you got to think about when it comes to these poltergeist videos. And I'm not saying that this one is fake. What I am saying is that this one could be easily faked simply by tying fishing line to all of these things. So you could tie a piece of fishing line to the knife, to the cabinet doors, to the green box. And that fishing line is probably not going to show up on camera because of how thin they are. So that could be the potential explanation here if it's fake. But let's go over on the Reddit thread and see what people are saying. Now, the first person makes a good point, and they say, and of course there was a camera on a tripod ready to capture that. And then this person says, I'm more interested in why we can't see the entirety of either cabinet that gets opened, can't see the top of the cabinet, can't see the bottom of the bottom cabinet, wonder why. It's a good point as well. Now, it could be that they had a camera set up simply because maybe they have regular activity and they had the camera set up to try to catch it. Could be the case. So there's only a few comments, but it looks like the consensus in the comments is that this is a fake poltergeist video. I don't really know where I fall on this one. Could go either way. Could be fake, could be real. The one thing that does give me pause is their reaction at the very end of the video with the finger wagging. I don't know, something about that just set off a few red flags for me. So I'm kind of leaning towards this video being fake. Before we get to clip number 2, please take a quick moment to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy what I'm doing on the channel. Really helps out to push our content out into the YouTube algorithm and help us grow a larger audience. Really appreciate the support, and here's clip number 2. Clip number 2 comes to us from the Slapped Ham subreddit from Deep Fried Freedom 3, and it's simply titled Poltergeist Video. What you're going to see is a toilet bowl cover violently moving up and down over and over and over as they film this happening, and then they get freaked out and they run out of the bathroom and they get the hell out of there. Now let's play that again, but with sound this time, so you can hear the sound of the toilet bowl cover crashing against the top of the toilet. You can clearly hear it. It's definitely happening.
Holy.
And it's loud. It is quite loud, and the person filming it reacts to it, and then they run out, freaked out. Could this have some sort of rational explanation? Now let's go to the comments on the Reddit thread. Should have taken the lid off. Yeah, that's a good point, but I mean, if that was real, I would be a little too freaked out to take the lid off too. This person says, very regular though. Was it gushing water, water pressure? And this individual says, tank was not overflowing, nor was water going into the bowl. That's a good point. The tank wasn't overflowing. That's a good point. There's such a large number of natural causes for motion and hydraulic equipment. This individual says, anyone else see the fishing line over the right side of the lid during the first 2 seconds of the video? Let's see if we can spot that. So if we go back to the video here, and let's zoom in just a tad, there is something right here. What is that? I don't know what that is. Now, if we move forward a few frames, you do see that that something, whatever that is moving up and down with the toilet lid. You see it? It's moving up and down with the toilet lid. So that could possibly be fishing line. I don't know why it would be there at that angle, but that could be fishing line. This is a weird clip. I don't know if this is real poltergeist activity, because there's just too many things. Like, it could be fishing line. It could be water gushing in the tank. It could be plumbing issues. It could be any number of things that are not poltergeist activity. Clip number 3 comes to us from the Scary Videos subreddit from Stuck in This Purgatory. All right, so in this clip, you see what looks like maybe a coffee table or some type of cabinet with 8 different drawers. Or I'm sorry, 4 different drawers. And you see right there, one of the drawers popped open on its own and seems to be sliding out on its own a little bit at a time there, you see. a little bit more, and then the other drawer pops open a little bit more, and now they're both kind of sliding out a little bit at a time, seemingly on their own as this person films this activity happening. That drawer's still moving just a little bit, and then they kind of move to the side to show you the drawers in a little bit more detail, and then the clip cuts off. Now, my first question and my first observation as I try to look at this skeptically, why didn't they pan the camera around to show us behind this dresser? Because maybe there's no back to this dresser, and maybe somebody's hiding behind it, laid down, pushing the drawers out. That could be an explanation here. It is a little bizarre that they didn't show us what is behind the dresser. All right, so the first comment says the drawers slide from both sides. Someone is on the other side, and they link to a product called Mission Quarter Sewn Oak Coffee Table with drawers on both sides. The problem is that product is no longer available, so the page is not found anymore. But let's see if we can do a search and find a similar product. Mission Quarter. Okay, so I did find a similar product here. This is a similar looking product. Okay, it has the drawers. It looks like the same drawer design there, right? Now check this out. If we go down and we go to this picture right here, you see that the drawers are on both sides. So what does that mean? That means that somebody could have taken the drawers out of the back and been laying down behind this table and pushing the drawers out from behind. And the fact that they didn't pan around the table to show us behind the table strongly suggests to me that that's the explanation here, and that this video is actually a fake. So I'm actually on this one, I think I'm like 90% positive that this one is fake, but I could be wrong. All right, clip number 4 comes to us from the Slapped Ham subreddit from Pure Conversation 673, and it's titled Poltergeist Caught on Camera. Now, this clip's only 20 seconds long. You see a dark room, you see a light flicker a couple of times, and then this overhead light comes on seemingly on its own, and then this red door slams shut violently and then opens back up, and then you see some drawers being violently pulled out right here, and then the light cuts off and you see those lights flicker yet again. So again, recap, we have several different things happening here. We have light flickering on its own in the back room. We have the overhead light coming on its own. We have the red barn door slamming and reopening on its own, and then we have three drawers violently flying out. Let's see what people are saying in the comments over on the Reddit thread. Somebody claims they saw a shadowy figure in the top right. This person thinks that it's just a 3D animation. This person thinks there was somebody dressed in black to slam the door. So it looks like the consensus in the comments is that it's fake. Now, somebody did mention seeing a shadowy figure in the top right. Let's see if we can spot that. I think I kind of see what they're talking about. Yeah. Okay, so watch the screen right here where my mouse is pointing, and I'm going to advance the frames, and you're going to see indeed what looks like, here, let me just scrub back and forth. If you watch in that spot, you do see some type of movement being captured there. You see that right there? I don't know what that is. That could be any number of things, but they're right. There definitely is something there for sure, and you don't see it move again for the rest of the video. So again, this clip could go either way. Could be real poltergeist activity caught on camera, or it could be an elaborate hoax. I'm not going to be the one to decide this one. I want you to decide in the comments down below, where do you fall? Final clip is posted on the High Strangeness subreddit from Avoid the Attic, which they also have a YouTube channel called Avoid the Attic that you guys should check out. It seems like they do pretty good stuff, but they're covering this clip from a haunted Bolivian school. They claim poltergeist activity in a Bolivian school while class was in session. This video is about 2 minutes long. It's very interesting, so let's take a look. It takes place in Bolivia. Now, the first thing you're going to see is this poster will fly off of the board. So watch. The poster gets pulled down pretty violently onto the floor. Now, you'll notice that it does seem to get pulled from the bottom corner there. I do want you to notice that. And it gets pulled from the bottom corner and down to the left. And this guy's like, what the hell just happened? So he picks the poster back up, puts it back on the board, and I want you to watch this trash can right here, because you're going to see this trash can move a little bit to the right on its own. So watch, you see it slides a little bit to the right on its own. Now, some of the students seem to be pointing this out, and then it slides a little bit more. Some of the students are noticing it and pointing it out, that it's moving, and kind of telling the instructor that it's moving. And then you're going to see the trash can move a little bit more to the right there. And then watch this table. This table is going to violently slide to the right, and then this object on the table gets yanked off really hard to the right, and then the door over here is going to close. So watch this object gets yanked very hard. Everybody's freaking out now, and the door slams shut, and that's where the clip ends. So now they're kind of doing a little bit of analysis on it, pointing out that the poster falls to the left, trash can pulls to the right, table pulls to the right, object on the table also pulls to the right, and then the door slams shut. Now, the reason why the YouTuber Avoid the Attic is pointing all of this out is because they're making the valid observation that we have an open doorway here, and we have 1, 2, 3 objects and a door that get moved all to the right, which could indicate that somebody could be outside of the door with a fishing line tugging on all of these objects to make them move. That is a very strong possibility, and that's simply what the YouTuber is pointing out here. This person thinks that it's really fake. Why were they filming? Why didn't they react more than they did? Yeah, that's a good point. This person responds saying they reacted more than enough. Even towards the end, the kids in the front row effing bolted. This person says fake. Why would you record a lesson like this? I mean, that is a good point. Why would somebody be filming at that moment? This person says, something I just realized, the tablecloth at one end is tied up. It seems if you were going to use line to pull the table, you would want that tied up. Otherwise, the cloth would be seen moving as the line pulls from the table leg. It's a good point. The consensus in the comments is that this was a faked video and that everyone in the class was in on it. And that could very well be the case. That could be the case. I'm not, discounting that possibility, but at the same time, could also be real poltergeist activity caught on camera. That is it for today's episode of Unexplained Chronicles. Let me know what you thought about all the clips we covered in today's episode in the comments. And if you have a clip you want to see me cover in a future episode of UFO, paranormal, or other unexplained phenomenon, you can link that in the comments or email me at unexplainedchroniclesyt@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode of Unexplained Chronicles.